morning, Year 3. Welcome to the start of your English lessons this week. Still continuing with the blue umbrella. Sorry, I've got hiccups. We are on Friday. We got a little further into the clip, and actually we left blue in quite a sad, sorry, and tense situation. And on Friday's lesson, we had a chance to explore the emotions of Blue so far in our story and really think about this journey that he's been on. And actually, we've probably left him feeling at the point where he's feeling most negative. Okay, so we thought about that a lot on Friday, and we're going to write about that today. So, having watched the clip again already, let's start writing. So, we're looking for repetition, personification, and a complex sentence in our writing today. So let's begin by thinking about some words to describe blue being tossed about. I'm looking for words that kind of end in ER that we're going to repeat, like closer, 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 or nearer, 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 or further, or let's get some of these written down. Faster, quicker, higher, lower, words that we can repeat for effect. So let's get some of these written down. Closer, nearer, further, faster, lower, higher. So we're imagining he's being tossed about as we saw in this clip, and we're going to repeat this word 3 times. Lower, 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 or faster and faster and faster, like just repeating for effect to build that tension that, oh my gosh, poor Blue is going all over the place, he's really being pulled apart, tossed around. Last one I'll write up there, quicker. Okay, so get your favourite 2 or 3 ideas down in this box here, repetition, and if you need to pause the video, do that. And then moving on to this side. So, choose your word that you want to repeat, open up the paragraph, repetition for effect, not messing around today, really getting in there to begin with. I'm going to choose closer, you choose a different one. So, capital letter to start my sentence, closer. Closer, comma, as I'm repeating it. Closer, closer, still. And then an onomatopoeic word. I want to, remember that part with the lorry? I want to write about that part to start off today. Closer, closer, closer still. An onomatopoeic word to describe the lorry. I'm going to go with whoosh. You might choose boom or a different one, it's really up to you. We're good at our onomatopoeic words now. Whoosh. Exclamation mark to show it's a loud noise. The lorry blasted Blue away. Okay, closer, closer, closer still. Whoosh! The lorry blasted Blue away. So you can see there, I've chosen my word to repeat. You might have a different word here instead of blasted. You might choose the lorry swept Blue away. The lorry blew away. The lorry propelled Blue away. It's up to you. Can't wait to see what you come up with. First part, done. Okay, moving on, personification. Remember, it is speaking about objects, nature, things like that, as if they are real. So, we're going to think about that moment with the taxi. Okay, I don't know if you've seen the film Cars, where all the cars are alive and they have eyes and faces and expressions. Thinking about that, I want to think about the taxi's headlights in the video and describe them. So we need some adjectives to describe his eyes. So or his headlights, pretending that they're eyes. It's not a very positive situation, so we're going to keep them quite nasty, quite negative. Okay, so his eyes, thinking about the taxi's eyes, were they angry, were they evil, were they nasty? Okay. Do you have any stronger words? Mean, perhaps. It's good, but we could do better. How about vicious? Malevolent, or malicious even. Nope. Okay, get your favourite adjectives to describe this taxi. We're bringing the taxi to life as if it's a human. And then in the second part here, we're going to words to describe those headlights. So not giving them a feeling this time, but giving them more of an adjective to describe the light. Was it blinding light? Was it a piercing, dazzling light maybe? So blinding, dazzling, imagining, you know, that's coming towards blue and it's like blinding him. Dazzling. Shining maybe is okay, I'm sure we could do better. Shining. Piercing's a good one. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. If you pause the video now, then you have a chance to get 2 ideas at least in each of these boxes, and then we'll come back to them as we write our next section. So, dropping everything as always. Okay, ready? Right, so what emotion are we going to give our taxi? The evil staring eyes maybe, or the vicious glaring eyes maybe. I'm going to choose the angry, so the capital letter, the angry, comma, glaring eyes of a taxi. Remember, we're talking about the taxi moment where the taxi's flying down the road towards him. The angry, glaring eyes of a taxi startled him, like kind of made him jump. Startled him. Startled him as remember what happened. So he seemed to get out of the way at the last possible moment. So I want to include that detail in this part. So the angry, glaring eyes of a taxi startled him as he hurtled. You might have a different word there. As he leapt out of harm's way. Out of harm's way. At the last possible moment. You might have said the malicious, evil eyes of a taxi made him jump as he leapt out of the way at the last possible second, or just in time, or something along those lines. Really give me the idea that he was this close to being kind of run over by this taxi. Really, it's quite a powerful paragraph we're writing today. It's the most negative part of the story so far. Poor Blue. Okay, give yourself a few seconds, pause the video and just get that bit finished off. And then we'll move on to our last part. Okay, ready? So we're thinking about, he's been, after the taxi, he's like whooshed up in the air and then he lands with splat in a puddle. So landing in a puddle, I want some ing words to describe him kind of coming down into that puddle. So landing is a good one to start. Landing in a puddle. What about crashing down into a puddle? Crashing. Diving, plummeting perhaps. Splashing down into a puddle. Up to you, which ones do you like? And then we're looking for some adjectives to describe that water that he ends up in. I'm sure you've got loads of these. Describe the water. It's not going to be warm and lovely like a bubble bath, is it? It's going to be the complete opposite. It's negative. It's going to be icy. What else? Cold, freezing. Perhaps suffocating cold water, chokingly cold. Cold. Murky maybe, or dirty. Okay, it's up to you. I'm sure you've got loads of adjectives to describe that water there. Right, moving on to our last section. So, choosing your ing word. Pause the video if you're not quite finished this part. Choosing your ing word. Start off your last part strong. Landing in a puddle, crashing down into a puddle, plummeting into, plummeting down onto the wet pavement maybe. I'm going to go with landing. Landing in a puddle. Landing in a puddle, comma. And with barely a chance to catch his breath, because if you remember, things are happening quite quickly, so we want to emphasise this idea that it's just all happening, one thing after the other, boom, 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 boom. But Blue doesn't even have a chance to kind of look or see or just guess what's coming next. No chance at all. So landing in a puddle and with barely a chance to catch his breath. With barely a chance to catch his breath. You might say landing in a puddle or crashing down into an enormous puddle. Blue felt like he couldn't breathe, or Blue was out of breath. Okay, something along the lines to make it seem like all these things have happened to poor Blue. Oh my goodness. Barely a chance to catch his breath. Comma. See, it's important that this is made a complex sentence by sandwiching in this kind of subordinate clause between two commas. Okay, landing in a puddle with barely a chance to catch his breath. The extra detail here in this middle part is really important. And then the last part, tell me what happened. Remember that in these moments, this tense part of our clip, the environment seemed to come alive to try and save Blue. So we're thinking he was, the kind of gutter like opened its mouth, it seemed like, and washed him away with water to get him in safety, didn't it? So landing in a puddle with barely a chance to catch his breath. Blue was swept away by a mouthful of, here come your adjectives, icy, murky, cold, okay, of icy or freezing water. By a mouthful of freezing water from the gutter. Notice how we've written mouthful as if the gutter really was alive and it has a real life mouth like a person. It doesn't really, it's more kind of, it's almost personification again. Of freezing water from the gutter. Okay, so really important in that last section, not an easy task. You need to have that information in the middle sandwiched between two commas. Landing in a puddle with barely a chance to breathe, comma, Blue was swept away by a mouthful of freezing water from the gutter. So, where did he land? Tell me, put a comma, that extra bit of information about how he's out of breath. Blue was panicking, Blue couldn't catch his breath, Blue was struggling to get his bearings. Without a chance to even catch his bearings, Blue was swept away by a mouthful of icy water from the gutter. I think that word mouthful is quite important to keep there, okay? It really brings it to life. You could have said swept away by a rush of freezing water, but I don't think it has the same effect as mouthful. Remember, the gutter comes alive, and we want to really keep coming back to this idea that the environment is alive and personify it, okay? Not an easy kind of paragraph to write today, but I'm really excited to see what you come up with as always. The class story is just incredible at the moment, so keep up the hard work, and I'll see you again tomorrow for some more.